Most people think disruption is speed. Growth hacks, quick wins, faster metrics, visible results. But speed without structure always guarantees collapse. Let me ask you this. When you're moving towards something, whether it's a specific goal or a life that you're building, are you accelerating a bridge that can't hold weight for long? Or are you building the stability that makes your future inevitable? This video will show you why stability is the most radical thing that you can build in your life. We'll talk about how if you chase speed, you will burn out and you will collapse at some point. And how if you build stability, you become inevitable. Because reality has no choice but to bend around coherence that doesn't wobble. In Western civilization, we have truly had burned into our brains and our bodies that speed is progress. Moving quickly, seeing results, getting things done means it's working, or means that you are doing something right, or that you've got it together. And so a lot of our nervous systems confuse speed or quick results with safety. And you may have heard of this before, but quick wins are a huge dopamine rush. They regulate you for the moment. It feels good, like a drug. There's relief, you feel like it's proof that you're not a failure. It soothes the ego. It makes you feel in control. But here's the catch. Building that way is like stacking bricks without letting the mortar dry. It looks tall really quickly for a hot second until the weight makes it all come falling down. Likewise, your system can't stabilize the load. And so what happens is burnout, collapse, shutdown, inconsistency, chaos, possibly performance to keep up. And your audience or whatever you're doing, whoever is on the receiving end of that energy is going to feel it too. Again, speed is survival or your ego's attempt at control. It feels powerful initially, but it's fragile power and it doesn't last. Let's talk about what stability actually means. That's where real power lies. Also, I just realized this is the most Capricorn video I've ever made. Stability is consistency under silence. It's showing up when there's not a ton of pressure from out there and no one's clapping or seeing what you're doing behind the scenes. It's not pushing forward because you're performing for others, and it's also not collapsing because you're not performing for others. It's regulation under charge when there is pressure from yourself or from the demands of whatever you're doing. You can stay coherent and regulated even when the heat is on. It's endurance under lag. You can continue to hold the signal long enough for reality to catch up, even in the quiet, even in the incubation period. Stability encodes inevitability. This is patterning for the future. This is creating the structure for something inevitable to happen later. This is when you hear people talk about enjoy the process and then the results become inevitable. They're just the cherry on top. This is what they're talking about. The process is stability. It's doing the thing, it's showing up, and it's regulating yourself throughout so that you build the infrastructure for whatever life or thing it is that you're moving towards. But it's doing it from the inside out with real substance and depth and alignment rather than building something hollow like a Jenga tower that has nothing holding it together, nothing real from the inside out, just a performance, just how quickly can you stack the blocks? If the frequency doesn't wobble, and if it's built with your alignment and your coherence, distortion cannot stick to it. It burns through distortion. It becomes an expression of truth. Stability isn't necessarily about slowing down. It's more about the quality and the texture of your approach to building, to living. It's an inside job. It's the way that you tune your frequency. You build that inner structural coherence. You align your body, your soul, and your mind so that when you move, you are aligned with truth. You are supported through your intuition and via divine timing and alignment, because those things are all connected, so that the noise that the mind would otherwise kind of pick up and be influenced by, and the chaos, can't dislodge what you're doing. When you show up in that way, you no longer think about things from the perspective of time or speed or what's going to work quickly, or let me catch on to these different gimmicks where these people went viral quickly, or whatever it applies to, whatever the context is. It's about what feels stable and real and true. And suddenly you find yourself on your own timeline. Here are some signs that you're chasing speed, that you may want to refine your approach. You might be refreshing metrics compulsively. It could be in a relationship. It could be how you're going to the gym. Any kind of metric, any kind of analysis. Over analyzing. Trying to be somewhere that you're not yet. You might be over promising or over producing. That could be in any kind of work, any kind of relationship, literally anywhere. You could panic or have a lot of anxiety if results lag, or if you, again, are not where you think you should be. It's a lot of should mentality. The deeper layer here is that urgency is pretty much always fear in disguise. Fear of silence, like if nothing's happening, then I must be failing. Fear of being invisible. If they don't notice instantly, then it's not working. Or fear of collapse. If I slow down, it will all fall apart and I will lose control. Urgency often feels like a drive, and in some ways it is, but it's really just avoidance of discomfort, an avoidance of presence with what is. So here's what I want you to ask yourself. Am I chasing pace because I'm powerful, or because I'm terrified of silence, or pause, or loss of control? Stability looks very different. And stability is not the same as capacity, which we talked about in my last video. Definitely worth checking out because they are pretty similar and they do go hand in hand, but they are not the same. Just to clarify the difference, capacity is how much you can hold, how much truth you can hold, how much abundance you can hold, how much your nervous system can stretch beyond your current ceiling or beyond what you've ever experienced or believed in before. Stability is how little you wobble while you're metabolizing that expansion. So they work together. Stability is boring to the old system, but it's absolutely magnetic in the new paradigm. Because with stability, you become, like I said, this is how we align with truth. This is how we become real. And we're moving into a paradigm of much deeper authenticity and sovereignty. And of course, that's not coming without collapse right now. So it's hard to even see that in a lot of ways, but that's what's being born or birthed through all of this, is a need for more radical authenticity. Because again, this is how the roots go deep. When other people's roots don't go as deep, and the world around you, the roots don't go deep, when there's collapse, when there's chaos, everybody just falls right over and plucks right out. But you're gonna stand tall because you did the work. You built a bridge that could hold you. And people will feel your unshakable signal, and they will gravitate towards you like a lighthouse. Here are some stability drills that you can practice to help refine your approach at building towards the future that you want. Again, I said it in the capacity video, and it's pretty much the same thing here as breath anchoring, all about the breath. The breath is going to be the #1 tool in this journey, regardless of what we talk about on this channel. Everything comes back down to the breath. The breath is our main access point to the parasympathetic nervous system. It's what helps us regulate. It's what helps us come into the present moment. And it is the first and the most profound thing that's going to transform your consciousness and your body to allow for more light and truth and abundance to come into your life. In every form. Life is going to be tough at times. And the one thing that is always going to be a tool for you to help move through things much more deeply, but easily and with meaning, so that you can use your experiences rather than get just tossed around by them. Using the breath, using it as a conscious tool. It will expand your life. Also, take a break from checking whatever metrics you have or whatever forms of analysis on whatever thing it is that you're working on. If you're building a channel or you're building a platform or whatever, stop checking the metrics, take a break. Come back to your why, come back to doing what you're doing that feels aligned and exciting to you, and let the rest come. I have taken a detox break as well from checking my metrics because it was affecting me a bit. That can really get in your head. If you have a spike and then things go down and you're like, a really good practice is to just get away from that for a bit and just come back into the process. Again, build the stability, embrace the journey, and all of the other stuff is inevitable. The two biggest things probably for stability is consistency and intention. You can't have stability if you don't know your why, and that comes before anything else. Energetically, you need to be aligned with your why and with your truth and your voice. Whatever your message is, with whatever you're doing, whether it's just showing up in a relationship, whether it's teaching someone, whether it's whatever you're doing, doesn't matter. I really encourage every day, if you wake up and you kind of don't know what your life is, or what you're doing with your life, and you feel out of alignment, that's the most powerful time to come back to your why, to do that soul searching, to figure it out, and start following that kind of inner North Star that you will find if you look for it. And once you have your why and you start, that's when you need to just start taking small but sustainable action steps towards it, continuing to start from that place, that intention. And if you lose sight of the intention again, taking a moment, taking a breather, and again, coming back to the intention, and then building sustainably, figuring out what works for you. Making sure you're tuned into your why and you're also tuned into your needs and being realistic about your capacity. This is where your awareness of capacity is really helpful. Not as a, oh, I wish I was further along, but as a, this is where I am, these are the cards that I have right now, and this is what I can do with them. That's where you build from. That honesty, that radical honesty with where you are is how you can build. That's how you do it in a way that lasts and in a way that becomes really potent and powerful and moving for both yourself and other people. None of these drills are going to, or none of these approaches are going to make you faster. And I think the reframe here, and as we shift into this new paradigm, is it's not cute anymore. It's not cool anymore to move quickly, to become the fastest person to do whatever thing. I don't care if you are the first person to do whatever thing. I care about your work and how you show up and if you're in integrity. And if you are, and you're making a difference and you happen to do it quickly, cool. That's cool. But I care most about who's showing up in integrity, who's coherent, who's aligned, and who has real stability and roots beneath their feet. That is what's going to change the world. Stability is not stagnation. It's not slowness, and it's not failure. It's inevitability, and it's power. My reflective question for you today is, where have you been chasing speed when stability would make you unstoppable? Don't forget, speed makes noise. Stability makes history. Let me know in the comments how this video landed for you, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any more content like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.